Hey nieces and nephews, it's your favorite auntie, Monique Judge, and this is Auntie Unfiltered. Today on Auntie Unfiltered, I'm going into the mailbag. We received an email from a young lady who identifies herself as Kristen, and her email says, Auntie, I have 3 nieces and 1 nephew, and they all call me Auntie Chrissy. Is it racist, offensive, appropriating for a white woman to be called Auntie? Thanks, Kristen. Hey, Kristen, thank you for writing in. Thank you for your question. I'm not quite sure if maybe you're trolling me or not. I'm going to go with the assumption that you are not, and I'm going to answer your question in earnest. Now, you are an aunt, just like I'm an aunt. I have a nephew. He's the cutest little thing in the world. He's 7 years old, and that is TT's Pumpkin. I am the only person in the world allowed to call him Pumpkin, and he will correct you if you say it. Because he's like, no, that's my TT and only my TT calls me Pumpkin. See, my nephew calls me TT, right? Now, in a cultural sense, most of us, a lot of Black people grew up when their moms and dads had friends, you didn't address that person by their first name because they're an adult, right? So you didn't just say, hey, John, or hey, Liz. All my mom's friends were Auntie this, Auntie that. And most of the men, we didn't call them uncle, we would say Mr. this, Mr. that, right? And it's a sign of respect. It's showing deference to an adult who is not your parent, but someone who, you know, is your parent's friend or something like that, and you want to show respect. I don't know that this has generally been the case for white people. I do, as you know, have white family members and an entire white side of my family. And none of them have I ever heard them referring to adults who they were not related to as auntie or uncle. So if you were doing it in a sense of you want to be down like Black people, then yes, I would say that that's appropriating. And it not necessarily racist, but it's just kind of appropriating because it's not something that white people are necessarily known for doing. So if you know, like I said, if your nieces and nephews call you Auntie Kristen, that's one thing. They are directly related to you. You are actually their aunt. But for white women to try to use it in the same sense that I use it, whereas as I explained when I introduced this video series, you know, for us as Black people, Auntie represents something, a Black woman who has some impression over you. You respect her. She gives you advice. You come to her seeking knowledge, things like that. That is an entirely different dynamic and an entirely different relationship than what you are referring to. So to your question, no, it's not disrespectful for your actual nieces and nephews to call you Auntie. But if we see you out on the street telling other people, yeah, girl, I'm your Auntie, then you might be doing a little bit much, right? You know, we have these things in Black culture, and it goes without saying that a lot of our culture gets appropriated or taken over. We've seen it with TikTok. Every time Black people come up with something, here come a lot of other white people and non-Black people adopting it and trying to make it their own. And it's something that we, you know, came up with ourselves. And again, that's the same way that this works, right? So I would say, do not be out here trying to call yourself Auntie in the same way Monique uses that phrase, as I am y'all Auntie. I'm even your Auntie Kristen because I'm schooling you right now, right? But white people are not known for doing that. And it's not your thing. So let us have that for ourselves. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, if you need advice, or even if you have a topic that you think Auntie should discuss, please email me at auntiesubmissions@theroot.com, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.